Hello everyone, welcome to Discover This. Welcome back if you've watched this before. Today we're going to spend a little time talking about the history of Jack in the Box. I don't know if anybody likes Jack in the Box or not. I know I got friends that it's all about the tacos. It's all they ever get when they go there. But we'll go over a little bit of the history and some of the pulp culture that's involved. Just to get the ball rolling, back in 1941, a gentleman by the name of Robert O. Peterson bought a small drive-through chain called Topsy's here in San Diego. And throughout the 40s he changed Topsy's, changed the name to Oscar's, which is the O in Robert O. Peterson, and made more drive-throughs, made Oscar's more of a circus theme, and that continued for a number of years. And then in 1951 Mr. Peterson changed Oscar's and started Jack in the Box. So with that, we'll go check out some of the history. One little piece of history, pop culture if you will, is the Ramones themselves say that their very first taste of Mexican food was having Jack in the Box tacos at the Jack in the Box across from San Diego State University before one of their shows. So there you have it. So we are now at the intersection right there is 63rd and El Cajon Boulevard in San Diego. And this building right across the street here is 6270 El Cajon Boulevard, and that building is where the very first Jack in the Box was. Now, it was an Oscar's drive-in or drive-through restaurant, and then Robert O. Peterson changed the name to Jack in the Box, and this was the first one. And we have a photo here showing that restaurant at this location. So one of the things that Robert O. Peterson is known for is in around 1947 he discovered a guy had designed a two-way intercom system that Peterson felt could be used as part of a drive-through. So he bought the system and the design from that gentleman, and he incorporated it into his drive-through so that someone could drive around the back of the restaurant, order through the intercom system, and then somebody inside the restaurant would receive it and start processing the order. So in this case, with the Jack in the Box theme, which Jack in the Box, Robert O. Peterson had taken the circus theme from Oscar's and kept just the clown motif as part of the Jack in the Box. So what he did was he mocked up a clown head that you would talk to at the outside of the restaurant and order your food, and then the person inside would again start processing. Now, Robert O. Peterson is credited with being the first person to pair up a drive-up window with an intercom system. However, I think In-N-Out Burger was right behind him, hot on their heels, if you will, but Peterson is credited with being the first one to do that. Now, another bit of trivia is that a young college student in Los Angeles by the name of Mark Hamill got a job at a part-time job at a Jack in the Box close to Los Angeles City College, where he was attending classes. And Mark Hamill was assigned the drive-through window as part of his duties at the Jack in the Box. But what he started doing was when people would order, he would respond and talk to them in a clown voice. So he ended up getting fired for doing that. But that same Mark Hamill, years later, went on to become Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars movies. And that's why you see Mark Hamill in the Jack in the Box commercials nowadays, and he's working in the drive-thru. That's kind of a throwback to when he actually did that. Now this location here, again, basically 63rd and El Cajon Boulevard, this location was pretty popular with the San Diego State students, San Diego State University being not too far away. And this Jack in the Box here would advertise in the student newspaper, the Daily Aztec. So in trying to line up that old photo, the driveways would have been partially where this driveway is here, and then on down to this curb line here. And then in the photo you can see at the time there was just one manhole cover. There's two now. I think this one here, this first one, was the original one that you probably see in the photo. But they've obviously realigned the street a little bit. But this is where the first Jack in the Box was located, in this lot right here. Unfortunately, they didn't. They chose not to keep it. So we're now at Euclid and El Cajon Boulevard, about 2 miles west or so of the very first Jack in the Box back at 63rd and El Cajon Boulevard, roughly. And this location right here, back in the late 40s and very early 50s, was an Oscars drive-thru. And we have a photo of that exact Oscars drive-thru right here at this location. And then it obviously became a Jack in the Box as he started transferring all the Oscars over to Jack in the Box, and it's still a Jack in the Box location to this day. Obviously it's been remodeled and updated over the years. You know, one thing about Jack in the Box, unfortunately, is they didn't really, other than in photos and some documents and things, they haven't really kept their history for people to access and visit and things like that. You know, you can go to San Bernardino or San Bernardino County and visit the very first McDonald's. You can also go to San Bernardino County and visit the very first Del Taco. And you can go up to Baldwin Park up in the LA area and check out the very first In-N-Out Burger. Well, it's actually, they rebuilt the original one, but it's kind of a museum now. You can go visit that up in Baldwin Park, which is where the first In-N-Out Burger was. But Jack in the Box hasn't done that, unfortunately. But we'll continue on. Okay, so we are here now at the headquarters of Jack in the Box in San Diego, and they're still based here after all these years. Inside these walls are the keepers of the history of this restaurant, this fast food company. Here's some logos that, you know, they've had over the years, starting from basically Topsies and Oscars all the way through present day logos for Jack in the Box. Now, Jack in the Box also has been part of pop culture, TV, movies, some music, videos, things like that. Here's some shots from my favorite TV show, The Rockford Files, where Jim Rockford's ordering his taco and fries, then pulling up to the window to pick up his order, and then another shot of him walking along the Malibu Pier. Jack in the Box has also been seen in Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and in the movie Scavenger Hunt, they actually part of the scavenger hunt was to take a jack head. So they did that and made their getaway. They also had some product placement in Angels in the Outfield. Simpsons did their parody of Jack in the Box with Jack in the Bag, right? If you remember that, number of episodes. And then Weird Al Yankovic sang a song about the Jumbo Jack in one of his, in fact, his first album, plus many other shows and videos and movies. Now, in recent years, Jack in the Box has bought Del Taco, so both those companies are run by the same organization here. Although I think Del Taco is actually based up in Orange County, their headquarters, but owned by the same corporation. And this building actually not only houses their administrative offices, but is also their innovation center. And what they do there is they design, test new foods and recipes and things like that. And if you live in the San Diego area, or you're going to be here for a period of time, you can actually come in here and be a taste tester. I'll put the link. You have to fill out a survey and things like that, and then they contact you to schedule. But I'll put the link in the description if that's something you'd want to do. Try out new foods. But this is the headquarters for Jack in the Box. So we're here at Fort Rosecrans National Cemetery in San Diego, and this is where Robert O. Peterson is laid to rest. Now, before he purchased Topsies and then made it into Oscars and then Jack in the Box, Robert O. Peterson was a lieutenant in the United States Navy during World War II in the intelligence section. And then after his service in the Navy, I believe he got into the insurance business, and that's how he came across the owners of Topsies. And then from there, we have the rest. In about 1967, Robert Peterson sold the company that he had created that ran the Jack in the Box Corporation. And so from 1967 until he died in 1994, he pretty much just involved himself in civic endeavors and philanthropic issues. I mean, he would donate lots of money to various causes. The Scripps Institution of Oceanography was one of them. But that's pretty much how he lived the rest of his life. And then obviously buried here. He passed away in 1994 from leukemia, and after battling it for a number of years. So that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for our little history of Jack in the Box and how they got started, and where it got started and that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I thank you for watching, and we will see you next time on Discover This.